Hey guys, I'm Kyle with Rhino. In this video, I'm gonna go over some of the frequently asked questions and explain some of the limitations of our newly released 2.0 firmware for Rhino Arc 2. All right, the first thing we're gonna talk about is tilt backlash. This is a new feature that we have added to the settings menu that allows you to compensate in firmware for the backlash of the planetary gearbox on the tilt axis. All right, in order to figure out what number you need to put for your tilt backlash setting, I want you to create a 2-point move, moving upward in a diagonal line. And this is gonna allow you to see if pan starts moving before tilt. I just ran my test shot and pan definitely starts before tilt does, so I'm gonna increase the value for tilt backlash on my unit. Go ahead and keep increasing this value until pan and tilt start at the same time. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about what we call the tilt plateau. So I have a move that I just set up that's a 3-point move, and it has a tilt the direction change. So my move starts out looking at the recorder, moves upward towards the lens, then I move back down towards the bottom of my lens cleaner. You'll notice that when it's moving from the lens to the lens cleaner, it doesn't start its downward tilt right away. And this is due to the backlash that exists in the tilt gearbox. So there is a way to remove this, and it's really easy. All we have to do is loosen the screw for our backlash adjustment on the tilt gearbox. To do this, use a 2.5mm wrench and find the screw that is located directly above where you plug in your Arc 2 to your wall charger. I'm just gonna loosen this until I feel that the tilt arm has just a slight bit of movement in it. All right, perfect. Next, I wanna set my tilt backlash compensation to 0 since I'm no longer compensating for any backlash. Effectively, what we're doing is we've removed any tilt backlash compensation both in firmware and in hardware. One caveat is you want to make sure that your center of gravity doesn't change from forward to rearward in the same shot, or else your shot will get a jolt in it. So to recap, if you want to remove what we call the tilt plateau, loosen your backlash collar, set the backlash setting in settings to 0, and make sure that you don't cross the center point of your center of gravity during a shot. Okay, let's talk about time-lapse briefly. We are adding the 5 keyframe functionality to time-lapse mode, but it does not have smoothing in between keyframes, meaning it's gonna be point-to-point movement in between each of your keyframes, which may result in a robotic feel. So check it out, see if it fits your style, and use it if you would like. Let's talk about the ratio that exists in between the segments on a multiple keyframe move. And please note, there is a fully detailed support article on this on our website. It's linked below. But for the sake of this video, let's say on my first keyframe, I am focused on the lens. My second keyframe, I am tilting upward or downward 5 degrees. The limitation is that on my next keyframe, I have roughly a 7 times ratio of movement that I can do. So if I moved 5 degrees on the first keyframe, I can move a maximum of 35 degrees plus or minus on my next keyframe. And this doesn't just exist for tilt. This is on any axis on the system. If you're wondering if you've gone above the 7x ratio, you'll know. Your move will stop at a given keyframe and wait there for a given period of time and then keep moving. So if you see this happen in your move, you can either decrease your ratio or try increasing your duration. From all of our testing, it's a pretty rare scenario that this will limit our compositions, but we want to make sure that you are informed. So please check out the full support article linked below for more details. All right, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support@rhinocg.com. I'm really excited to see what you guys can create with this new firmware. Thanks for watching.